My name is Fintan Magee. I'm a painter originally from Brisbane, Australia. I've been working primarily as a mural artist for 10 years. Started out as a graffiti writer and moved more into the mural side of things in my early 20s. I just really love painting. I love the process. I'm obsessed with the technique of painting. So for me, like graffiti, street art, muralism has just given me the infrastructure to paint and travel. And I'm really lucky to have found a laneway and a pathway to be able to do that. When I first started making murals, I was primarily a realist painter. I was really trying to make, works that were expressive but were still realistic. Now I've kind of entered a phase where I'm kind of interested in pulling things apart and like deconstructing my images a little bit through different techniques. It depends on the painting, it depends on what I'm working with, but I've been doing a lot of works behind different glass patterns. My work's always been like a conversation with architecture, with the built environment, and that's obviously comes naturally when you're a muralist and when you're working in the urban landscape. Architecture of my hometown had a lot of like Art Deco beveled glass that was like really common in the old Queenslander homes of my childhood. So I started like photographing different people behind this glass. I used the glass to develop photographs first, and then it's a matter of using what comes out of the photography sessions and applying them to large scale and recreating them as paintings. And it's great because it helps me break down the image. It also keeps the kind of conversation with architecture going. The first paintings, I guess, were made during the pandemic, so it was when everybody was indoors and isolated, and the works were really a reflection of that. Now we're coming out of that, I'm starting to play around with different techniques and different ideas. In terms of the evolution of street art in general, I mean, everything comes in waves, in terms of popularity and stylistically and everything, but it's great to see, young artists coming through. It's great to see the movement changing and evolving, and yeah, it's just good to be here, I guess. I mean, I like the location. It's a kind of a closed community. There's like a silence there, but it really comes to life about 3 o'clock when the kids come home from school and the kids are playing outside. For me, this is outside of the painting, but from like a social perspective, I like that there's like public housing in small towns in France. That's something we don't have so much in Australia. There's definitely a shortage of this type of community. So for me, it's different. It's somewhere that's unique and interesting. For me, these works, like the works that I'm doing now, are like hyper detailed and they require a lot of work. Because I'm doing a repetitive pattern across the whole painting, I can focus on a small area and just zone out. I paint for 8 or 9 hours a day. It's quite relaxing. So for me, it's meditative, which is like my favorite way to paint, you know? I just want to make the best work I can and make work that I feel good and I feel happy about. And once it's out in the world, it's not really like up to me. I like that the work takes on a life of its own, and the community or people, the bystander, everybody has a different relationship with it, you know, and I don't really have control over that. And to be honest, for me, I want to start to experiment again, you know, like this body of work I really made during the pandemic, and it was like during like a period of isolation. Now that that's over, I feel I want to make something new. So I want to go back and experiment again.